Employment law affects every business that's employing staff, and obviously affects the staff, the employees. Hello, my name's Stephen Mather, solicitor, and I help small business owners with a wide range of legal problems, from startup to exit and everything in between. There's a wide range of employment law, from hiring and obviously firing, to how to deal with things in between. What I always say about employment law, I obviously act for the businesses rather than the individuals, generally speaking. Or what clients say to me, at least, is that it's a minefield. And I say it can be, unless you have a map. And that's what I help. I help people, business owners, have a map for employment law, to navigate that minefield and to work out a considered route forward to be able to deal with whatever the issue is. So a lot of the times, people that employers will have a wide variety of different issues with employees. Sometimes they're just not performing; they're not very good. It can be that they're on long-term sickness. It can be that they've done something wrong, disciplinary issues. There's a wide range of things that that employees do on a day-to-day basis, and it's one of the side effects of having employees. But what's important is that you deal with things properly and fairly. And that's where I come in. So ideally what you want to do is have a good contract as a starting point, and a staff handbook or employee handbook guide. And the reason for an employee handbook is because that's going to set down the rules for dealing with certain things. So if you've got a disciplinary, you've got the rules. And if you follow the rules, actually what most people don't understand about employment law, if you follow the rules and then make a fair and reasonable decision at the end of it, you've got nothing to worry about. So you can dismiss somebody as long as you follow the right process and then make a fair decision at the end. The tribunal, employment tribunal, isn't going to come in and say you've made the wrong decision. They only do that if you don't follow the right process. So you just sack somebody without having a disciplinary hearing or writing to them and letting them know what's happening. That's going to be unfair. You're going to find yourself in trouble. Or if you go through a process and you're still a racist bigot and fire someone because of a protected characteristic, then you're going to find yourself in trouble. But if you follow a process, and I'll help you draft that process and write that, and then make a fair and reasonable decision at the end of it, then an employment tribunal is not going to do anything about it. Employers should get their employment contracts sorted before hiring their first employee. It's really important. The law says that you've got to issue an employee with what's called a statement of terms on or before the day they start. What used to happen is you had to provide that within the first month. So people would go, yeah, come along and start and maybe have an offer letter that sets out a little bit of, here's your hourly rate or whatever. But the law changed, and now you need to provide them with a number of different things about their employment before they start. So it's really important to have that. And it kind of depends on what you're doing. If you've got an employee that's involved in sales or business development, relationship management with people, one of the things that's really important there is to have what are called restrictive covenants in place. Restrictive covenants are terms in a contract that say, when you leave, you can't poach our customers. You can't go and work for a competitor within a certain radius or period of time. You can't poach staff to go and build a team somewhere else. So those kind of things. And there is a bit of a myth around restrictive covenants. There's lots of people that think that they're not enforceable, and they are. But what the courts say is that they're only enforceable if they're reasonable. So my task is to draft them, and you've got to draft them really cleverly and smartly and clearly to make sure that both sides know what's what. The key is have them ready before somebody starts. If you've got more than one person in place, having them in a standard format so that everyone's on the same kind of contract. You've not got a variety of different contracts. And then what I would look at is if you've got more than a handful of employees, to start thinking about putting in place a staff handbook, employee handbook. The other thing with employment law, generally speaking, it changes a lot. It's the most changing area of law. It generally changes at least every April, is when it normally comes in, and sometimes every April and October as well. So it can change twice a year. That's the actual law. And then in between those times, there's lots of employment tribunal cases that go change how we might look and deal with something. So what's really important with employment law is it's not just a one-off scenario, it's something that you look at on a regular basis. What I offer clients is not only just the initial drafting, here's a template document that you can use, but an ongoing service as well. If you need help with employment law, why should you choose me as your lawyer? I do work slightly differently to most lawyers in that I want to build a relationship with people. So something that's really important with me is having a long-term relationship with my clients. And what that means is I get to know your business a bit more. I know how you might approach something. I know how to you might think about something, and then I can help you make better informed decisions about it. And you know what? Even though we're dealing with something that's quite tricky, like employment law, we can still potentially enjoy dealing with each other as well. So when you're looking at solicitors and lawyers, there's lots of different people out there. But let's have a chat. Let's see if we get on, and hopefully I can help you with your problem.